Here's the date chart for Jim Mattis, ex-general of the U.S. Army as well as ex-Secretary of Defense in Donald Trump's administration until the end of 2018. No time known, so he could have his moon either somewhere in late Cancer or somewhere in the early degrees of Leo. And I'm showing his planets on the inside. The red ones are Trump's planets, and in big amber are the current transit positions. Now you can see the link to Trump in that, first of all, Trump's horizon line in late Aquarius connects to Mattis, Jupiter, Venus, especially Venus. And Jupiter, Venus in opposition would be the indulgent side of Jim's chart. And so he probably decided to indulge Trump, even though, given that he has his Saturn in direct square to Trump's sun and Trump's moon, he probably knew from the beginning that he was going to have to somehow tame and control this guy. Of course, he didn't realize that Trump is a total beast and is impossible to control. And so, even when he resigned from his post, although Trump says he fired him, but of course we know that isn't true, he didn't say very much. Now he's finally spoken out as a result of the military deployment by Trump on Washington D.C. streets in order so that he could do the walk of shame over to the church and hold up the Bible. So in addition to the Venus-Jupiter connection to this horizon, and then the Saturn making these big squares, you also have that Trump's famous T-square, Eris, Mercury, Neptune, that I've talked about so often in my videos, connects to Mattis's chart because he has the same T-square. Turns out that Eris, of course, will be in the same general area because they're born near each other. But then the Mattis chart shows Uranus on Trump's Mercury. Neptune is connected to Mattis's Mercury. What I notice is people that have planets stimulating this T-square in Trump's chart tend to become enemies sooner or later. For example, Nancy Pelosi has her sun over here next to his Eris, and there are quite a few others where this is the case. And then in the transits you see that these Capricorn planets are no problem for Mattis. They're a major problem for Trump, but not for Mattis, in that they make a wide trine to his Virgo Saturn, and then the early Aquarius Saturn is in a nice position for him to speak out, trining his Mercury. But probably most key would be that the transiting Neptune, which has really become a thorn on Trump's side and will continue to be for the next couple of months, at least in an intense way, although for years forward in a general way. This Neptune is moving in to oppose Mattis Saturn, and so that would be one broad factor. But in the near term, we'd say Mars in the middle of Pisces opposing his sun. So if you want to see his aggression, then this is what you need, a Mars transit to turn things on. As usual, Cadet Bonespurs bravely lashed out via Twitter to insult Mattis by referring to him as overrated. It's the same insult he used on Meryl Streep. It's funny to see our coward president picking a fight with a general familiar with combat. That exact Pluto-Mars square in his chart perfectly reflects a saying he is credited with. Meanwhile, Trump is always talking tough. I wonder how Mattis thinks Trump would hold up in real combat, the kind Cadet Bonespurs made sure he avoided at all costs. Of course, Mattis is too disciplined to reply to our fascist wannabe president, but it won't much matter since the planets are going to do all the replying for him. That Neptune is only just getting started. June and July are going to be rough, and I doubt that massive unrest in the country, a pandemic that shows no signs of abating, and an economy in shambles will be Trump's only problems. There are a number of eighth house issues Trump is vulnerable to that have yet to arise, but will likely do so over the next couple of months. After that, the triple conjunction in Capricorn will take over to torture him all the way to November, when he will finally meet his electoral fate, an outcome that I am dead sure he is not going to like.